Welcome to this week's edition of Mountain Outhouse News. I'm your host, Jam Jam. This is the craziest to happen in running this week. This week's stories include the Run 100 Invitational, a close call for Ian Sharman, and a new women's FKT on the Barkley Challenge loop. Camille Herron is the mind behind the new Run 100 event taking place April 13th on the Michael Johnson track in Beaverton, Oregon at the Nike World Headquarters. She wants to run for a 100-mile world best under ideal conditions and has enlisted the help of race director Steve Durbin of Durbin Race Management to execute the invitational track meet. We just found out about this event in the past couple of days, but here is what we know so far. Entry is limited to just 35 to keep the track from being too crowded, and entrants have to complete the 100 miles in under 18 hours for the cutoff. They can also set marks at 50K, 50 miles, 6 hours, 100K, and 12 hours. The entry fee is just $1 and a promise of a gift from Nike. Wonder what that is. Can anyone say Alphafly? It looks like spectators are welcome, and I'm sure will be a widely watched event as Camille chases, lowering her world best time at the distance. As of the recording of this show, there are 11 entrants, including Camille, and 52 applicants. Looks like thus far the short notice isn't deterring a high interest in the event. Ian Sharman of Sharman Ultra has a scary close call this weekend on his way to a record attempt for the fastest Elvis Marathon. He was planning the attempt at the LA Marathon, but on his way to the start line at 6 a.m., his taxi swerved on the freeway to avoid a rollover accident, smashing into a barrier at 70 miles per hour. He says a couple more feet and he may not have made it. He wasn't injured, but in so much shock and stress from the situation that he dropped at mile 18 of the race. Dang, Ian, really glad you're okay after that scare. Be safe out there. The Barkley Challenge Loop is an FKT for the masses who want a taste of the Barkley outside of the official races. It runs the main loop of trails in Frozen Head State Park and can be run either clockwise or counterclockwise. The current men's record holder is John Kelly, 15th finisher of the Barkley, who has run some of the fastest times on the loop. It doesn't hurt that his parents live close by to the park and he grew up there. But his latest one was set January 1st, 2020 in a time of 3 hours, 33 minutes, 42 seconds in the clockwise direction. But this story isn't about John. It's all about the women's record, which has seen some action lately. Talented Alabama runner Liz Canty lowered the time to 4 hours, 41 minutes, 13 seconds on February 23rd, taking 40 minutes off of Karen McNeely's time. Karen attempted to take it back on March 7th, but fell a little short with a big PR still in 4:44.57. The third race in the Ultra Trail World Tour made its stop in the Canary Islands at the Gran Canaria. Capel continues to perform well on the World Tour and at UTWT races. He notched his 4th straight victory here with a tie alongside Pablo Villa, also of Spain, in 13:04. Not a huge fan of tie finishes, but hey, if that's what they want, good on them. Dylan Bowman, after a tough year and a half of racing setbacks, broke through with a 3rd place finish here in 13:40. As for the women, new North Face athlete Caitlin Gerben of the US was the victor in 15 hours, 14 minutes. She ran down Azara Garcia of Spain, who finished 2nd in 15:25. Fu Zhao Zhang of China was 3rd in 15:31, making it a very tight race up front. Next up on the UTWT, pending any further race cancellations, will be the 100 miles of Istria, April 12th to 14th in Croatia. They just announced that a cancellation might be possible there. More soon. The annual Way Too Cool 50K, one of the largest ultras in the country, kicked off in Cool, California this past weekend, and there were some fast times. Solomon athlete Darren Thomas, who placed 2nd at this past fall's TNF 50 mile in California, took the win here in a smoking quick time of 3 hours, 18 minutes, 4 seconds, matching Max King's 9th fastest all-time here from his 2018 win. On the ladies' side, Kimber Maddox was the winner by a large margin in 3:49. She's new to the scene but has a background in the US mountain running scene and was a collegiate steeplechaser. Here in Arizona, we saw the Mesquite Canyon 50K and 50 mile go down in the desert. Angela Chartel, after a long absence on the ultra scene, she's a 100-mile champ, was back in fine form, taking the win in the 50K in 5 hours, 40 minutes. Darcy Wade was only 3 minutes back, placing second. For the men, former 50-mile champ Eric Niedert stepped down to the 50K, winning in 4:32, 7 minutes ahead of Seth Rutt. For the full 50-mile distance, Matthew Warner of Durango took the win in 9:03, while Holly Hovius led the ladies in 11:51 on a hot day. Speaking of hot, Red Newt Racing is facing some fires on a couple of their race courses in New York, including their Breakneck Point trail runs. Wasn't aware that this was fire season up that way, but from some of the comments, sounds like it isn't uncommon this time of year. Breaking news also affecting races around the globe and domestically is the COVID-19 outbreak. We'll try to keep you updated with the latest here on Outhouse News each week. We'd love to hear from you if you have any tips or leads on local events and how they are faring. Obviously, race cancellations are not ideal and can be devastating to race organizers as well as participants planning to attend. Several large-scale road races have been canceled or postponed already, and also the USATF Masters Indoor Champs that were supposed to be held this weekend. Hopefully with time, these events can be rescheduled and cancellations may soon reach all of us in the country. We currently know of a few trail ultras affected. Behind the Rocks in Moab has been canceled, and the Chuckanut 50K is now postponed via a blog post from RD Chrissy Mail posted a few minutes ago. I'm sure all others will be in close communication with local governments and agencies for what the next step might be. Another sad news for the sport, we lost not one but two ultra legends in the past few days. Dwayne Satterfield, a legend in the South, passed away from cancer. Dwayne was a regular at the Barkley and finished both the Barkley Fall Classic and Grindstone this past fall. He will be sorely missed. With more, we go to Beast Coast correspondent AJW.
Hey, Outhouse Nation, it's A Jizzle Whizzle checking in from the Beast Coast. Hey, checking in with sad news this week as the Beast Coast lost one of the OGs of ultra running out here, Dwayne Satterfield, a legend down in Alabama, multiple time Barkley participant, 20-time Mountain Mist finisher, just one of the great men of the Southeast running scene. Died at the age of 55 last Friday. Real sad. Longtime friend of Dink Taylor and pretty much the founder and leader of the Huntsville Running Club. The entire region is feeling his loss this week, and hopefully all getting out to log some miles in Dwayne's memory. So from the Beast Coast with sad news this week, A Jizzle Whizzle.
Thank you for those kind words, AJW. Next, on to one that hits closer to home for me. Longtime Javelina 100 and across the years participant and legend in the California ultra scene. For close to 3 decades, running his first ultra at the 1991 Shadow of the Giants 50K, we lost George Velasco at age 66 of cancer. His last 100-miler was just over a year ago at the Grandmaster Ultras, who will be sorely missed in the Southwest ultra scene and beyond. Thank you for tuning in to episode 186 of Outhouse News. The show would not be possible without the support of our Patreon contributors who help with the production of this show each and every week. Join the Patreon crew at the link below for as little as $2 per month. Huge shout out to our $50 level supporters, Squirrel's Nut Butter, Brian Sands, Mark Grabowski, Renee Feint, and the Twisted Fork Ultra out of Park City, as well as our $25 level supporters, Bluebird Running Company, Sean Trujillo, Carrie Savage, Casey Carter, and Jeff Holbrook. Thanks for checking out the show, and we'll see you next time. If you have crazy stories to share or a question or feedback for the show, please leave a comment below. Finally, if you'd like to own this custom pair of Jam Jam sunglasses, complete with a signed certificate of authenticity, check out the link in the description. Have a shitty week.